Salutations, everybody. Happy Tuesday. It's your boy Shad Talks Graps, and we are back for another installment of the Wrestling Republic Daily Broadcast. It's Tuesday, like I said. Y'all know what that means. We're here to review Monday Night Raw. We are on the road to Crown Jewel, which is this Saturday. And this was the go-home episode of Monday Night Raw. Honestly, the only live episode before they start Crown Jewel, because obviously SmackDown, if y'all didn't know, was double taped. So we're gonna break it all down. A lot happened onto the road of it, as you can see the topics, and we got a good team today, man. First and foremost, we got to go to a person y'all see on Tuesday a lot, the head of Take It to the Table, my dog Chaos. How you doing, bro?
What's good, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Yes, we are here to talk about a jam-packed episode of Monday Night Raw. Couple ups, couple downs, but obviously we'll dissect into that. And of course, yeah, with my favorite crew, even though one of them ain't here, but we still have another fellow Caucasian to take his place today. So yeah, let's get straight to it, shall we?
Yes, I will have to break the news. Jordy in the bank must be bankrupt today because he's not on the show. Nah, Jordy, y'all will see Jordy this week. He's gonna be on other episodes of the daily broadcast. But we got a special guest, man, because I just learned before the show that this is a return, right? This is a return to the daily. Y'all haven't seen him almost in a month, but this is one of the most critical people in the Wrestling Republic team. Does an incredible job with our reviews. Y'all normally probably see him talking about Dynamite, but he's here to talk about Monday Night Raw with us. My bro, David Sheldon. How are you, brother?
Hello, everybody. I'm very, very excited to be here. Finally back on the daily. It's been almost a month, which is forever. But between the London Film Festival and my other responsibilities elsewhere, I've not been able to come on and do a live daily. So I'm so excited to be back and talking Monday Night Raw. I am going to be more of a negative Nelly today, and I apologize. We'll get to that later. There was some good stuff on this show, but I'm excited. Nice to have everybody back. I am not Geordie, and I will not disrespect Geordie with the northern accent as much as I was planning on it. I also don't have any Mickey ears or chicken tendies, but I do have a coat hanger. So so there's that. Let's go.
I will say you are the closest person to Jordy height wise that we could have on the Tuesday show. So
that is true, actually.
Yeah. Stay there. There we go.
Oh, he does have something. Okay,
it's like Geordie's in the room with us.
He's in spirit, man. I think you both kind of shared a lot of my thoughts before we get to the topics. It was a very roller coaster episode of Monday Night Raw. A lot of positives and a lot of negatives, and I want to start with what I thought was the positive, and it was everything that was kind of streamlined throughout the entire episode. Honestly, you probably had a backstage segment for every bit of the 2 hours of the entire show. But, we start off with Jey Uso coming out, followed up with Jimmy Uso, talking about everything that happened on SmackDown this past week. We know that Jay got his lick back, got sweet revenge on the Solo's bloodline, and they're kind of rejoining as brothers in a way, but Jay's saying that it's got to be a little bit different now. He can't, they can't be the yes men and Roman. They are their own individuals, and Jimmy's ensuring him that come on Friday, talk to Roman, we'll get this settled and scored, and obviously we also have an announced match for Crown Jewel that was, I believe, said after the show, but we have a multi-person match, Roman and the Usos versus Solo, Jacob and is it Tamatonga in the match? Right. So we're continuing everything with the new bloodline versus the OG bloodline. But the big outlier that we did see was Sami Zayn. Because Sami Zayn did talk to Jay backstage and telling him, like, hey, man, like, why are you aligning with them? You know, justifying Solo in a sense to Roman's actions. And Jay, you know, kind of shrugs him off, tells him that you're not family, you wouldn't know. And later on in the show, when you know Jimmy says that he'll go look for Sammy, they find Sammy and he is back in the parking lot talking to Solo outside of his car. So it's got a lot of people thinking what the direction is gonna be with Sami Zayn. Is he gonna, you know, go heel and join the Solo Sokoa bloodline, or is he gonna reunite with the bloodline that we have seen him with previously? Me personally, I I wouldn't be opposed to both ways, and I was thinking about it a lot today. Sammy going heel and joining Solo would kind of be interesting. It would be a wrinkle in the storyline that I don't think a lot of people would expect to see, and I feel like it would be an interesting turn of events. But I'm a sucker for reunions, bro. I love when reunions happen, and I want to see Sammy align back with Roman and the Usos personally. But I'm gonna open the forum to y'all. I'm curious to see what y'all think. David, what are your thoughts in regards to everything bloodline related yesterday? But and also, what do you think the direction for Sami Zayn is gonna be?
So I have been on record as having lost interest in this story quite a while ago. I lost interest with the bloodline. I was getting frustrated with the constant turns. It felt like twists for the sake of twists. I think that Jacob Fatu is awesome and brought some real life to that. I've obviously not been around to talk about the last month, so I'm going to kind of condense it all into this little section here. First of all, I really liked Jay and Braun last week. Everything that happened in that match I thought was fantastic. Then we obviously had the turn, the reuniting of the Usos last week, which I thought was dreadfully rushed. And it didn't, to me, feel earned or especially natural. Although I recognize I was in the minority because the crowd loved it. I shared Ben Allison's feelings, but the crowd did love it. My feeling this week, having seen this show, is that I am actually a big fan of what they've done here. Because Sami Zayn, in my opinion, is right. Sami Zayn saying, why are you aligning with these people after all they've done to you? And look at all the great stuff you were doing on Raw. Why would you go back into this again? I think Sami is right. And I think the fact that I think Sami is right makes this story very interesting because it is an acknowledgement from the company and from the characters involved that we're not stupid and that there are people that share that viewpoint, that it was too soon and it doesn't really make sense for him to go back. But there is a reason that relates around family, and I do like that. I think it would be extremely beyond dumb for Sami Zayn to turn and align with Solo's group in any capacity. I don't think that's what's happened at all with this, him talking to Solo. I think this will be revealed as to what's happened. If he does turn, I will go back to criticizing it again because I think nothing in the Sami Zayn character over the last 3 years suggests he would ever do that. I don't know what you can justify it, I suppose, if with a good enough writer, but I think it would be another twist on top of the umpteen twists we've already had. I think that this will result in Sami realigning with the Usos and Roman. How they do that, I don't know. But I do think that this character dynamic between Jay, Jimmy, and Sami right now is interesting, even if I am firmly on Sami's side that I don't understand this reuniting of the Usos from a character perspective. I am curious to see where we go, and I am a fan of the direction we're going in. I think the six-man at Crown Jewel should be good fun. I am far more interested in what Sami Zayn is going to do in that match, though, than I am the match itself. So they have got me somewhat interested again with this Sami Zayn thing. I'm just curious to see where we go with it.
Yes, and I do agree with you on that. I guess it's just me trying to, trying to see what all aspects can happen. But I do agree with you. I do think he is gonna align back with the OG bloodline, and yeah, Crown Jewel becomes a lot more interesting with the Sami Zayn dynamic. Obviously, we know Sami is of Arab descent. last time he was in Riyadh. He got one of the biggest reactions of the year from an international crowd. So I do think it's a way to get him on the show. But like you said, it's a good way to get him within the storyline and continue that. Want to just say this also in the comments, Chris Leclerc, condolences to you and your family, bro. That's definitely unfortunate, but we're glad you're here tuning in. We're hoping that we can bring some happiness and enjoyment during a dark time for you, man. So salute to Chris Leclerc. But Chaos, I want to ask you the same thing in regards to the topic. What are your thoughts in regards to everything that happened yesterday, and what side do you think Sammy will go with? You think he's going to go back to his old gang, or you think he's going to, align with Tommy Tonga and company?
I mean, there's so much to unpack on this situation alone. I think it kind of warrants another episode of Take It to the Table regarding this. So I might have to get you guys on there. But yeah, just from the whole situation, I'm pretty much looking back at it. I'm pretty much on board with what David said in terms of how they have rushed this, is how they've come to the reunion with the Usos and all that. They have rushed it. Obviously, if you take your wrestling your wrestling fan glasses off and then just see what's probably happening, I think the reason they're probably doing that is because the Rock is coming around, and Triple H is rather, instead of him almost messing up the plans this year's WrestleMania, you might as well just try and try and wrap this up before it comes around, because I think from January to April, it's the Rock season. I feel like so yeah, I do agree that it was definitely it definitely happened way too soon. I feel like if it was up to Triple H, it would be very similar to how it was when Sami Zayn was trying to be best buddies again with Kevin Owens, and that took a long build. That took a very long build. But we eventually got there and we loved it. I think the only reason people are giving this a pass is because we love the Bloodline saga, and we just, like I said, the fans loved it. There was no complaints because it's already good. We'll give it a pass. Now going towards the regarding Sami Zayn, I also don't think he's going to turn heel. I think he's it was just it's a nice little tease, like he's within his right to feel some type of way when obviously Jay said, you ain't family and all that kind of stuff. Even though with all the madness we've been through with the Bloodline. But yeah, like they know what they're doing. He's gonna get probably one of the biggest pops, if not the biggest pop at Crown Jewel. And one thing about Sami Zayn, he knows about loyalty. He knows about allegiance. If you remember 2 years ago at Survivor Series, that the Bloodline versus Kevin Owens and all the other guys, banger of a match. And he was obviously aiming to prove himself to Jay at that time, and he did. And Jay was just like, yeah, you're one of us, kind of thing. So I don't think it's going to turn. It'd be very stupid for it to do it this way. I feel like, yeah, he's probably going to align himself with the OG Bloodline, and you're probably going to see him at War Games as well. He's probably going to be the final member. Because as it looks like, I think Cody Rhodes is done with the Bloodline for now. But yeah, other than that, I'm loving it. I agree, it was definitely a bit too fast regarding the reunion, but I don't mind it either because I'm loving those things. So yeah, we'll just see how it goes. But yes, Sami is gonna stay face.
Okay, so you brought up a point that I do want to just touch on real quick. This whole War Games situation. We had a little bit of a talk about it in the general chat earlier this morning, and I'm on the idea that you have as well. I think Cody don't need to be in the storyline right now. No. Let's let Cody feud with the people he's feuding with. Let's not tie him to this storyline. He doesn't. I feel like a lot of my frustration with Cody Rhodes is title reigns, because it's still an extension of what he had to do to get to the title, right? He's supposed to get past that problem. And I mean, I have no problem with him and Roman. I want to see that, but we don't need to get to that just now. The only time I want to see him tied to the storyline is when The Rock comes back and The Rock is about to, have a match with him. But do y'all think that it should, because it normally is 5 versus 5, right?
Yeah.
If we add Sammy to it, then it's evened out 4 versus 4. there's a lot of rumors and rumblings of possibly like Hikuleo signing the WWE or them picking up another member that, you know, the family tree runs deep. I ain't gonna lie, them roots run deep. There's a lot of
just do it 4v4. They've got precedence to do 4v4 before. The women was 4v4. I think last year. I don't see a need. Like, even if Hikuleo signed, do we need another one?
No.
Like, for this story to work, if they've signed Hikuleo, who is very talented, can he not go and do something else?
Yeah.
Because it's just, I think we're going to reach the point of, oh, it's another one.
Yeah.
And
DJ Khaled.
And another. Jacob Fatu, you got away with, because I think we all sort of really wanted to see Fatu in WWE.
Sure.
And so it was and it was like, oh, Fatu brings something to the bloodline that they don't already have. Beyond being tall, Hikuleo doesn't really bring anything new. They have a bodyguard in Fatu. They've got the talkers. Sorry, not the talkers. They've got the leader in Solo. They've got the charismatic in like sort of madman in Tamatonga, and Tangaloa is also there. So you know you've got the four.
I was waiting to see how you were gonna incorporate him on that. That's crazy. I was gonna say you got the tag team, but he is all that is fuck. That's funny. I almost cursed. Oh my god. Yeah, no, I agree. And I said that too. I was like, I think it should be 4v4. I wouldn't try to, run some Jedi mind tricks to add other people, or like just Cody don't need to be in it, man. I swear, Cody Rhodes finds his way in that match.
I thought initially it probably would, and that's how you integrate The Rock coming in. Obviously, Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes, they beat the OG, the new bloodline, and that's when The Rock is like, I've had enough of this. I'm coming back. But he already showed up at Bad Blood, so yeah, he's
not see The Rock doing a War Games match. I don't know.
Cody needs at the moment. I'm happy to still go back to this Roman and Rock stuff with Cody towards Mania. But for the time being, let's let him do his stuff with Gunther. Let's let him do his stuff with other people, because there are loads of people that Cody could have great matches with right now. Kevin being, you could do Kevin
for
again.
Sure.
You can do Randy. You can do any of them that isn't just Solo again, Jacob again. It's like, let's do. I know maybe not Jacob again, but I'm happy to see that. But let's do something different.
And the KO stuff is great so far too. So I'm glad that I think that deserves to be a premier match on the PLE. So we'll have to wait and see. But let's get to the next topic, because we got a couple more topics to get through, and obviously we want to talk about that main event. But we got to talk about the match between Zelina Vega, Ivy Nile. There's a storyline between the Alpha. Not the Alpha Academy, American Made versus LWO. And my gripe is this, right? I think both factions are super talented. I think they have great looks. They got great names, everything. The talent is there. It's just the booking for both factions has been dog water. Like, it's been so bad to me. And there wasn't a lot built within these two women to have the match last night. Like, I don't know. It just felt kind of abrupt. They kind of threw it in there, let it run its course for a little bit, and then it was done. Ivy now does pick up the win. Zelina Vega is a person that really, really has my head always scratching, because you saw what she could do in the moment with that match with Rhea Ripley, and they've never really given her a chance to kind of build off of that. Like, they've kind of just let her be the woman in the men faction manager type of role, have a little, be the dance partner to make someone look good. And that's what virtually she was doing yesterday. I like Ivy now. I think she's a stud, but I don't know. The match ain't really hit for me personally, but I do want to know your thoughts, David. Obviously, you said that there was a lot of things you didn't like. Does that fall in notion to it?
Right. So this match, I think we got about 30 seconds of wrestling. Then Vega did a dive. We went to the ad break. Then after 4 to 5 minutes of being sold Burger King and how washing machines live longer with Calgon, We come back, have another minute, go to the finish, and we're done. What's the point? What's the point? It's like Vega is talented. Ivy Nile is really talented and really good. I like this faction war between American Made and the LWO should be awesome. I enjoyed LWO getting absolutely carcassed on the outside by the Creeds. That was fun. But honestly, like this is the Raw women's division is terrible right now. It is one of the worst booked, possibly is the worst booked women's sort of divisions in wrestling, and I count NWA in that. NWA are booking their women plenty better than this right now. It was a match. It was the only women's match on the show. It was quite boring. Not really the fault of the women. They didn't get enough time. Doesn't really advance a great deal of anything. You don't really care. They're two women that you could push up into the main. Like you could push Zelina Vega up, but she's already lost to Liv Morgan. She's the only person who has. Like, so you've still got this Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, Raquel Rodriguez stuff in which nothing is happening and no cares given at all. And then in this, you've just got like the Vega, who's good, but we've seen her lose. Ivy Nile who's heel, so she's not going to go against Liv. So what we do? Where are we going? Like, where's the trajectory? Like the other women on the roster, think of like Io Sky, Bianca, people who could be going into the position against Liv Morgan. They're ramped up in the tag scene, particularly on SmackDown, and some stuff on Raw as well. There's just nothing here. It's so poor, so poorly booked. And when the only current women's wrestler who I can think of on the roster who has half a chance face against Liv Morgan is Nikki Cross, like who is currently feuding with Scarlett, with that sort of Wyatt Karrion Kross Final Testament thing. It's painful. It's really painful, and the women are better than this, and it's not really their fault. They didn't do anything wrong. It's just no time, no care, no attention, no reason to care. Washing machines live longer with Calgon. Probably more interesting.
You bring a lot of good points. Time is of the essence. Time is what makes things matter. And they weren't given a lot of time, but like you said, it's not even about time in this point too. It's about what we're doing with our time. And like you said, the feuds just haven't really mean much. And I will say this: I think yesterday's episode didn't benefit off of the fact that the main focus really was that everything we saw with the bloodline. That's kind of what that's the envelope that need to be pushing. I don't have a problem with that, but how you allocate other stuff kind of matters too. And it kind of, that's one of the unfortunate things that fell flat. Will you go say Chaos?
Chaos now.
No, yeah, I was just going to say, I think this is obviously also falls victim to the fact that Raw is 2 hours. I feel like
yes.
if anything was, if there was a reason why you want to have 3 hours, I think it would be this. Because I agree. One match is not enough. Plus, obviously, a lot of people getting sacrificed, like PFC and whatnot. So yeah, it's going to be sacrificed. Unfortunately, with this.
I'll just jump in as well and say the SmackDown had the same problem for a long, long time, where they put so much focus on what the Bloodline were doing that nothing else on the show mattered.
Mm-hmm.
The Roman would go 40 minutes in his opening promo, and then there would be nothing else.
Nothing besides that,
as much as the blood, like I'm not as into the Bloodline as everybody else is right now, but the Bloodline is a massive focus. But you've got to book your show better. Did we need to see? I'll get into this later, but did we need to see Damian Priest beat up Dominik Mysterio for 11 minutes only for a roll-up finish? Can we put that time to better use? Can we put in do we need to see again? I'll get into this. I'll get into all that later. But there's so much stuff. You're just like, if you cut that, if you stop your 15,000 ad breaks, if you stop your 400 Instagram recaps, and you actually work the show in better, you can fit time in for this. And the thing is, you've got one segment. If there's only one women's wrestling segment on the show, you have to make it count. It has to be meaningful. This. If you didn't watch Raw next week and you tune in next week, you miss absolutely nothing. And that's why it's a complete waste of a segment.
No, that's a valid point. That's definitely a valid point. And yeah, like I agree. I think the women's
There was
booking
more.
on Raw is abysmal. Like the division is hella whack right now. What you gonna
Yeah,
say, bro?
100%. No, I was going to say there was more focus on watching the WrestleMania Night 2 main event with no commentary than there was on the show, like on the match as well. That was
Yeah,
big. So, but
it
yeah.
it is quite something interesting. We have a comment. Kobe in the house saying Rhea got a video package. That was good. I did like her video package. But like you
I
said, it's
like
all
these video packages for all wrestlers. They're really good, like different camera angles and little things input into it. But yeah, it's still not enough.
So we're not
yeah.
going to don't want to talk too long because I know we need to move on. But I hated what she said in it. I thought she came across like a massive hypocrite. The crux of the promo was her saying, "When I beat people up, it's fine, but when you beat people up, then no, I'm not having that."
Oh yeah.
Like it made me feel dumb.
For
Not
sure, man.
really dumb.
Yeah, yeah, we'll have to revisit this next week and see what happens. Hopefully, we get some progression. But speaking of progression, that kind of reminds me of our ad break because it's about progress. But this is about Progress Wrestling. Man, if you are not familiar with Progress Wrestling, they are an incredible wrestling promotion across the pond, and they are hooking y'all up, including other promotions tied to it. If you use the code Watch Progress, you get 50% off your first month on Demand Progress Plus, the home of Progress, Defy, and much more. It's a lot of wrestling content, man. Look, wrestling is more than just the WWE, more than just AEW. There's a lot of thriving promotions out there, and this is one. They just had a very successful show this past weekend that I would highly recommend y'all go ahead and watch. They do great work with us, man, and I'm excited to see the continuation of it and whatnot. So keep supporting Progress because we are. And let's get to the next topic real quick because we got to talk about something that I did like, and this is the continuation of Bronson Reed and Seth Rollins. Seth coming out, cutting a promo, telling Bronson that he's ready for all the smoke with him. Bronson pulls up on the Titantron, and he invites him for the fade outside. They they have a nice little outside brawl. My wife was watching with me. She's like, "This is fun. I like when they get to fight outside." And there's other, chaos occurring outside. Death Valley driver off the thing. We had what's the topic is Bronson Reed no selling the curb stop. I don't know. Is this like an issue online or something? Because I thought it made sense. And Bronson Reed, a big dude, man. But it has me excited for this feud. I think Bronson Reed has really personally elevated as a character in these last few months and the last few storylines. And I think him and Seth is going to be one of them ones that I'm excited to watch this Saturday. But I ask you, Chaos, do you think that the first and foremost, what are your thoughts about everything between them with the backstage fighting? And then I guess how you feel about the selling the curb stuff?
I mean, first off, this feud is very interesting. I mean, I'm loving how they're building off obviously the six tsunamis to Seth and everything. And it's giving Seth something to do that's not involved in the world championship. And it's a big name for Bronson Reed. Obviously he took out Braun Strowman, and now obviously he's going for the next big guy. So who was the previous world champion. So for him it's great, and as well for Seth it's something fresh and new. I'm loving these backstage matches. They remind me of as if I'm playing WCW Backstage Assault, except this time it's actually good. And yeah, it's great, it's innovative, it's not like a total rehash of what Bronson did with Braun. It's yeah, it's pretty good. Regarding the no sell of this curb stomp, I don't think I didn't really think of it like he just it didn't do like something like what the Fiend used to do when he used to do like 15,000 curb stomps and then the Fiend just pops up. Obviously there's a reason why he done that, but yeah, I don't think it was that. He was down for like a couple minutes, and then Seth tried to cut, like, he tried to do a mic drop promo, and he was just like, and another thing, and he just looked back like he didn't fully no sell it. He was down for a few moments, and then he was just like, is that all you have? And then the crazy spot at the end with the table was great. And then it was to the point where Seth would look like he was proper like knocked out, and it wasn't until I don't know if they put some smelling salts under his nose or anything, and he just proper woke up afterwards. But yeah, no, I'm loving this. I hope Bronson actually goes and get the W. I think he deserves it way more than Seth does, because Seth will be fine afterwards. But yeah, he needs to rank up quite a few notable W's to be possibly a possible contender for the World Heavyweight Championship. So yeah, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. And yeah, big up Bronson Reed, man.
Yeah, and I definitely agree. I like the fact that we're having a good feud that doesn't have to do with the title. And Bronson Reed's someone that I wouldn't say worried about, but I was just kind of like, I don't know. It's the same thing with DIY. I know Triple H, cares about a lot of his former NXT guys, right? He sees value in them, and bringing them to the main roster doesn't mean that they're going to instantly be fan favorites or whatnot. And then we saw a lot of silence, not a lot of reaction towards them, but now we see more reaction. DIY has become more of a fan favorite in the tag division on the main roster, and Bronson Reed is someone that they found a niche, right? It was the hitting the tsunamis. It was having the feud with Braun Strowman. It was attacking Seth, and now this storyline.
Yeah.
What you gonna say?
No, I was going to say as well. I think that was a good thing. Like you said, there was something. There was obviously something about Bronson. He just needed to find that that one thing, and it took basically. He said it was improvisation with 6 tsunamis. That was a part of the plan, and he did it. And then they're running with this. So it just needed to take one moment to make you into a star, pretty much. And that's what that was it. So I think if that never happened, God knows where Bronson would be right now. But I'm loving it. It definitely made him.
For sure. And I'm definitely excited for it. So the card is kind of stacked. I ain't gonna lie. They definitely got a pretty stacked card on Saturday. So I'm excited.
The personal best is what, 6 matches? Was it 7?
7
Yeah,
matches.
it's a personal best for Triple H.
7 matches, and honestly, I'd like on paper, right? Not saying just storylines. I'm not basing a lot off of that, but just off paper, I am interested in seeing all the matches just off of stylistically with the matches, the names involved. They're bringing a lot of people out there. There's a lot of people, a lot of different type of matches and whatnot. Kobe and the Wrench say 7. You know what I'm saying, Mister?
I'm just gonna say, like, this is, and I know people disagree with me, but I stand by it. This is what every pay-per-view should be. Because I don't feel like any match that is not I don't feel like any match has been missed off the show. The triple threat that's been building for a long time on the show. Seth and Bronson that you've been building for weeks on the show. The 2 big matches on the 2 big title matches on the show. The 6-man tag on the show. Doesn't feel like anything major's been missed off, but also doesn't feel like it. I think this is what they should all be. Matches. I like stacking TV cards, but matches that have been building for weeks, I think should get a pay-per-view blow off. Otherwise, what's the point of the pay? So I think they've done a great job with this card.
I'm gonna be honest with you too. So obviously, we also got the women's tag match, which has also been, built as well on all 3 shows. I like the idea. You have like prelim matches and UFC, right? Like prelim cards of like up and comer people. You have prelims on like boxing matches. I wouldn't mind if they even had like an NXT storyline that was hot and throwing it on, because they don't have as many pay-per-views as the main roster, right? I wouldn't even be mad if they threw that like as the start off, during the kickoff show, right? That would be a cool, innovative thing to do, and that kind of lets you get a little bit of a litmus test to see if these people can, garner that reaction and get people hype in the crowd, like kind of like an opener of a concert and stuff like that. I think it would be an interesting thing to do. But yeah, let's get to this last topic real quick, because we'll start off with a comment because Anthony Manzano says, honestly, I think Dominik Mysterio is ready to be champion in the next 3 months, maybe a couple weeks after the Rumble. Wowzers! Dominik Mysterio, Damian Priest happened last night. My man David already kind of told us what happened. You know, Damian was beating him down, shenanigans, and Dominik got the classic best move in the business, the roll up, and he is, I believe, so he is due a title shot because he won last night. This was a number one contender match. Okay,
it wasn't number one contenders, but he did say, "I won't give you a match until you beat a world champion."
Okay, so yeah, he got a little handshake deal with Adam Pearce, who I think is maybe the weakest GM out of the bunch at the moment. I'm sorry to say that to him. He needs to get stuff in order. I think Nick Aldis runs a nice tight shop out on Fridays, and I think Ava is like the one who is a good friend, and she got people doing her work, the assistants. Adam, come on, man, let's tighten up a little bit. But nah, Dominik Mysterio, obviously he is the master heel of WWE. The question is he ready to be the next world champion? And I'm gonna just start off real quickly and tell y'all, absolutely not. No, not at all. Maybe the nah. Maybe the Intercontinental. Nah. Dominik Mysterio is such a good character, and that's kind of where it stops at that point for me. I don't think he's a horrible worker. I don't think he's a good worker, but I think the character overpowers everything as the wrestler. And when I think of champion, it doesn't really flash for me. I think if he was to get a title on a main roster, a mid-card title would make a little bit more sense, but he's got to go against Gunther if he wants that title, and I think Gunther will beat the ever-living piss out of him. He will probably be in a colostomy bag after he's done with that match because that's not style clash that he wants to see, man. So I'm just going to start off and say I don't think Dirty Dom is going to be the next world champ, but I'm going to open the forum for y'all. We'll start with you, David. What are your thoughts? Obviously, I know you talked about the main event briefly, but go in more detail if you want. And then, what's your thoughts on Dirty Dom being the next champ?
No, 9. Well, nada. I don't know what other. I can't think now. No. I like Dominik Mysterio a lot. I don't think he will ever be world champion, and that's fine. That's fine. I think that the story with him being beaten up by Gunther will be immense amounts of fun. But did I have to sit through 13 minutes? Well, I didn't sit through 13 minutes. I sat through probably close to about 6 or 7 because of blessed ad breaks. But like, did I need to sit through Damian Priest beating up Dominik? Priest beat up Dom. Then Dom got on top. You basically saw none of Dominik's offense because you went straight to a ad break. And then when you came back from the ad break, Priest was on top again. Would this match have been more interesting if Dom showed at least some fire? Showed he could do some things against Priest? He's outpowered and he's outmaneuvered, but he can still fight back rather than just being a comedy punching bag. And then after the match, it's the same old story of Judgment Day getting demolished again and again and again and again and again. It's just, you could not pay me to care about the Judgment Day right now because they're all talented workers and they all look like morons. And I just wish they didn't because I like them all. But like, I think this Dom Gunther story will be good fun, but it just leads to nothing really because I don't care about any of them. I just don't. I care about Priest, not because of anything they've done on TV, because I like him. But just, I wish that this time had been put to better use, to be honest. Also, the reveal it was going to be Priest was blindingly obvious, but that's fine. It was just, a bit of nothing, really. Fine. Dom can work well when he wants to. He worked well against Ray. It's just, I'm a bit apathetic towards this whole thing, to be honest.
Yes, I do agree with you on that. Look, man, I think you and I talked about it briefly before the show. I'm just tired of seeing Priest in the Judgment Day spiel. Let him, use those wings that he has on his Titantron and fly away from the Judgment Day, because Priest is so talented as a performer, and you could literally utilize him in feuds with people on the roster, like how you're doing with Bronson and Seth, and it will draw and be good for the show. Let's slowly get him back into some sort of title picture, maybe get him some dubs and stuff like that. But just still in this whole realm with all of that, like, unfortunately, I know it's not going to end until maybe the Rhea Ripley and Liv stuff pays off, which I ain't gonna lie, me and Jordy were kind of gassing it up a little bit in the beginning because it was great stuff, but now it's kind of dipped a little bit for me. I think a lot of us as fans are just waiting for it to end so they can do something new. Um, got a couple comments, and then we're gonna let Chaos take us home with his take, because Anthony Manzano is saying he disagrees with me. I think he's ready because he defended the North American title multiple times on live television, not just on NXT, but on Raw, and he defended it against main roster guys. Brother, that is the North American title, which I do like a lot. I think it is a great title, but the North American title is not even the main title on NXT. We're talking about the world champion of the WWE. Like, you my guy, Anthony, but that's like, come on, bro. Like, that's different stuff, right? Like, that's the TV champ for the development company we talking about compared to the world champion on Raw. It's levels, bro. It's levels, man. Um, he also got to say, uh, first of all, Dominik is a world champion. Mysterio, it sounds like I'm saying he's going to be undisputed champion. Yeah, I mean, sometimes the material doesn't make a good T-shirt, bro. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes that material is weak. Once you put it in the dryer, it shrinks after one wash. So, and then we got Kobe also in here saying that Dominik is not ready to carry a brand unless he's the definition of a transitional champion. Wise words from the Kobe Meister, as Clark calls him. Chaos, what are your thoughts, man? Because it seems like we're kind of splitting hairs with the comments on here. Is Dirty Dom the next world champ? And also, any thoughts on the match last night?
First off, what the you're talking, guys? What we doing here? What the are we doing here? Like, Dominik, next world champion. What the is going on here? It doesn't make any sense. You're telling me the man that is quick to denounce his father, but ain't quick enough to take away the Mysterio name from his full name. You're saying this guy is going to be next world champion, the one that's going to beat Gunther. Are you guys out of your minds? Like, let's just be real. That, like you said, in comparison in football terms or soccer for the US, that's like Sunderland winning the domestic cup of the the Carabao Cup, and think that they're going to challenge for the Premier League title, which is the main championship, just because they won the domestic. It doesn't make any sense. This is not the same. Anywho, I agree. The main event, that was not the main event. I was really surprised when they said that was the main event, because it was just absolute piss poor. It didn't warrant it. I am very over Damian Priest still battling this Judgment Day these Judgment Day guys. But yeah, I feel like the reason they made Dominik win, it wouldn't surprise me if Gunther loses that crown jewel. He is absolutely pissed, and then Adam Pearce is gonna put Dominik against Gunther next week on Monday, and he is gonna run his ass over. And then everyone's that's the Judgment Day getting picked off one by one. You're gonna see Dominik gone. War Raiders are gonna crush Finn Balor and JD McDonough, and then it's gonna be Liv all alone with Liv, and something's gonna happen with Raquel Rodriguez, which, by the way, I must say, they nerfed the hell out of her yesterday. She was absolutely fearing for her life. Before, she was meant to be this big towering, this big tower of a bodyguard, and then she completely fled and pissed herself at the sight of Damian Priest. They completely nerfed her. I don't know if she called an audible on that, or they made her do that. It just didn't make sense. But yeah, it was a whole bunch of nothing. I just feel like it's just a way to probably write off Dominik of TV for a while after he gets run over by Gunther. That's how I would book it anyway. But yeah, there's almost no momentum within the Judgment Day stuff now. It's completely lost its not mystique, but it's definitely losing its interest for me anyway. And we just, I don't think it warranted the main event slot either. That could have easily been in the middle of the show, and then probably finish off the show with a segment rather than a match. But yeah, this didn't warrant it. I'm over it. Let's just get straight to it. But I'm here to see Gunther completely run over Dominik Mysterio next week, if it happens next week.
Yeah, I don't know when it's gonna happen. But it is definitely in the pipeline to happen. Raquel Rodriguez is arguably like the worst bodyguard that you could hire. Like,
it was
I'm
evident
sorry.
last night.
Yeah, she's one of those tall for nothing people. Like, I wish I had your height where I could play basketball, but like, you just tall for nothing kind of situation. And I like her. I thought she did. Here's the thing, right? She was a good bodyguard in NXT for Dakota Kai, but she is not, like, I don't know what it is. It's just, it's so.
Book her like,
but it's her
like
character looks so unorganic.
Yeah,
like, it just doesn't feel, and they don't book her well enough. So she's kind of on her chicken stuff like Liv is.
At least the rubbish bodyguards like Jesus when he managed Carlito. At least he managed to stab Cena in a nightclub. Like, has Raquel done anything? Anything?
No, I'm sure Camille is better than Raquel right now. Surely,
I genuinely wouldn't trust her to body. I genuinely wouldn't trust her to bodyguard my goldfish. Like, come on, guys.
That's crazy. Oh man, we could probably spend all episode talking about that. But we are passing a little bit past the time, but it's all good, man. We having fun over here. It was a great episode. Salute to Chaos. Salute to David. Thank y'all, everybody in the comments for watching. Remember, we're back the same time tomorrow. It's a little bit different on the East Coast. 4 p.m. Eastern time. What is it? 1 o'clock Pacific time. 3 Central. All of that. Y'all do the math. Just follow, subscribe, hit the bell. You'll see the little, thing prompt up, and keep rocking with us. In the words of Jay Uso, deuces, ooses.